Chiliasm, as associated with the belief in historic premillennialism, soon faded from view in Augustine's day, and Augustine's amillennial interpretation maintained dominance for the most part in the minds of Western Christians until about the 17th century. The fracture of European Christendom, occasioned by the events of the Reformation, which were necessary, I should say, led some Protestant thinkers to eventually rethink the meaning of the millennium. The Anabaptists were influential in bringing a lot of these old historic premillennial and dispensationalist ideas to the forefront, one gross example being the Munsterites in Germany. But it was not until the 19th century, the birth of actual dispensationalism, from these same Anabaptists and Baptistic roots, with its emphasis on God's future purposes for national ethnic Israel, a covenant specifically only for the Jewish people, in contradiction to what Scripture actually says. And the founding of the modern nation-state of Israel in 1948, that premillennialism, I should say, through dispensationalism, which can be seen as a more palatable Zionism to Christians, and they're not even hiding it anymore. Some people would call themselves Christian Zionism, Zionists, whatever that means. Anyway, once again flourished within the thinking of modern evangelical church, which accepted modernity as its means of ethical response to modern society Anyways, history will prove whether the Western Christian church will reject this theology of error and return to its Reformed Orthodox roots, or God will judge error where judgment is due and reveal grace where needed the most. So, to conclude, how should Christians view their relationship to political empires within the context of the expectation of Christ's return? One thing's for certain: whatever eschatology you hold, you do believe that Jesus is coming back second time. Augustine's solution in the City of God is to take a long-haul approach to building God's kingdom. Yes, Christ may come again at any time, but until then, the church has work to do. And I may add that the church has a war to win during the meantime, and a fight of resistance to do in the meantime. Christians may participate in the political realm. But Augustine's change in how he viewed the millennium mentions in the book of Revelation. He sought to move Christians in his era away from a premature expectation of Christ's return toward a more concentrated focus on the long-term mission of God's people, who is the Israel of God and the kingdom of heaven on earth. Now, some say that Augustine was sensibly steering the church away from an obsession with overly materialistic ways of thinking. But that debate over Augustine's interpretation of the millennium continues to this day. Everybody wants to claim him except for when he actually says something that's theologically sound. And some people don't even listen to him at all because he's, quote, too Catholic. Whatever. Still, brilliant mind, and I respect a lot of what he has to say. And one thing is certain: Augustine's influence has been enormous in the history of Christian thought, and even in my life. I definitely relate with his book, Confessions, and I highly recommend that book to every young Christian man. But Augustine's ideas as he read the Bible are worth thinking about, as they tell us a lot about the unfolding of history and our place within God's world, that is, history today.